Hi, dreamers. Sometimes in my monthly updates, I talk about how I make strategic bets in terms of options. And also, you might be wondering when I decide to start a brand new position in a stock. So today I thought I'd show you one real-time example of a strategic bet I've made recently. So here's how I exactly do the research, locate a target, and turn that into real money real time. So I was reading in Seeking Alpha that Visa, a position that I did not hold, has recently faced a Department of Justice antitrust lawsuit over potentially anti-competitive practices in the debit card market. But so far what I'm reading is that long term, the impact is expected to be minimal. And so what happened is that on September 24th, the Department of Justice filed a motion or a warning shot that Visa should be mindful of some of their current practices around the contractual terms locking down merchants and fintechs. But later on in the article, it highlights that Visa's dominant market position, an extensive network of over 100 million merchants, creates significant network effects and economies of scale that are difficult for competitors, even if they were able to enter, to replicate quickly. And so in doing a little more research on Visa, you can see that the total return of Visa has beat the S&P handily over the last 10 years at almost 400%. And also in Seeking Alpha, if you go to their dividends, you can see that they've been paying out their dividends for the last 15 years and growing their dividends for the last 15 years substantially at a nice rate. You can also see that their payout ratio is very low at under 22%, which is fantastic. You can also see with earnings, they've consistently beat or been in line for the last few quarters. And so with all this said, Visa was something that I started paying a little closer attention to as potentially a value or something that I could option with a little bit more volatility and uncertainty from the market's perspective, but based on my research, not likely to make a big impact on such a strong business long term. So here you can see after the 24th announcement of DOJ, the price dropped all the way down to $269. And so I started being more active and paying closer attention to Visa in terms of adding to my position and options. And so fast forward to last Monday, a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that the price was $286.85. And I also noticed that there'd be another earnings announcement on October 29th, which was yesterday. And so what I decided to do was to take a strategic bet on creating a put option on Visa, which you can see here, for a strike price of $287.5, expiring just after earnings during earnings week on November 1st. And so I wanted to point out here was that this put option is known as in the money, and that's when the current market price was lower than the strike price. And so because of it being an earnings week, because of the additional volatility on Visa, and because the put option was in the money, I made a pretty good premium for selling that put of about $444. And so fast forward to the day after earnings, and the price has spiked to $292.32 with almost a 4% price increase day after. And I'll show you how that looks within my portfolio. And so here it is inside my portfolio. You can see the put option of $287.5 with an expiration date of November 1st, the premium of $443.30, and the gain already at 87%. And so now the only question for me is to let that continue to go to 100% to gain the full amount of that premium, or if, since it's already at almost 90%, to see if there is another target that I might want to take a strategic bet on. Since now this put option will not exercise since the strike price is $287.50 and the price of Visa shot up to $292.32. So whether you're thinking about creating a new stock position, or if you're thinking about doing strategic bets like selling put options, I hope that was helpful for you to think about the process of finding a headline or some kind of threat to a business, industry, or company, then doing a little bit more research to figure out whether the threat is significant and what you think the impact will be, thinking about the timing of the market reactions to such threats, and also the potential reaction to an earnings report, and the value of premiums with increased volatility and over an earnings week against what is really a solid long-term bet. And I'll close this out by saying one more thing. I recently launched YouTube memberships, and so I'm just ramping up right now. But I've already started posting more real-time trades and explanations of how the trades are working, which you can see here. I'll also be providing more first access to videos. I'll be posting my views of the market and also more behind the scenes on me. So if you're interested, feel free to join my YouTube memberships. As always, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this dividend income update. And if you want a richer, real-time experience with me, you can always follow me on Instagram or X. And if you're doing your own research using Seeking Alpha, feel free to find the link below to subscribe if you want, no pressure. As always, I encourage you to do your own research, then implement and learn by putting it into practice. And as a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so keep in mind these videos are for entertainment and inspiration only. I'll see you on the flip side.